What is up everyone, I am Demon Cringe, and today I want to explain to you why Cartoon Network is not heading into another Dark Ages. Now yes, I do know that in a previous video I already talked about this, in addressing the comments and whatever, but for some reason, I've been talking to people on forums and all that stuff, basically chatting around, and some people are still apparently worried that, somehow, despite all these, really awesome shows that we have confirmed, like for example, Apple and Onion, Craig of the Creek, OKKO, that's soon about to be premiering, people are somehow still being worried about the fact that CN magically has like an ace up their sleeve, and as soon as we get comfortable to the new line of shows that are to be released, CN will magically unload the cheap money grabs and all that stuff. And okay, there is one cartoon that's been confirmed, Lego Unikitty, that does look like a cheap ass cash grab, but for now, that's the only thing that we know that is going to be really trying to capitalize on the popularity of something. Now, of course, we all know that every single generation, they have their goods and their bads and all that stuff, but the reason I'm really making this is because people are actually speculating whether CN is going to be heading for another Dark Ages, as in the mid-2000s era, and honestly, I really highly doubt that that's ever gonna happen, because let's face it everyone, the main thing about the CN Dark Ages, yes, it was a huge drought of talent. It was basically a huge era for CN to just put in as little effort as possible to churn out as many episodes of bad shows as they can, but that's just one part of the CN Dark Age era. The other part is that it was basically an experiment, and a really pathetic one at that. Basically, it was like an experiment to become more like Nickelodeon, and I mean that by the live action shows. And whenever someone says that CN is gonna be heading for another Dark Ages, instead of just another bad period, when they say Dark Ages, I automatically think of those live action shows and all that stuff. And I highly doubt that CN is ever gonna have really super bad live action shows, because let's face it, like I said, it was just an experiment for them to try to be like Nickelodeon, okay? Because for good or for bad, Nickelodeon is pretty much the ruling channel when it comes to live action shows for teens and all that stuff. And CN basically tried to be like them in order to try to appeal to the a hip teeny crowd. It's they automatically thought that when kids become teens, they automatically stop enjoying cartoons and they want to watch shows with real people. Like I said, every single generation has their good and their bad shows. It's unfortunately a vicious cycle and we have to go through it. You can't have the good without the bad. But to me, when people say that the channel is going to be heading for another, quote, dark age, I honestly think that's one of the most ludicrous things ever, because let's face it, even though CN is a corporation, I do think that even they, and all their greed, and all their huge corporate greed, managed to see how much of a failure that whole project. And I really doubt that they're ever gonna put so much money into making that, because let's face it, even though the shows were really badly made and all that stuff, they obviously put a lot of money into making those, and it turned out into a huge loss for them. And corporations, they don't want to lose money, so obviously they're not going to do anything like that ever again. And I know what some people are going to be saying, if you're a much younger viewer, you're probably not going to know a lot about these live action shows. You probably either saw them while they were just on the cusp of being cancelled, or you just saw a few clips of them and you don't think they're that bad. You probably think, oh my god, these people are over exaggerating, they weren't that horrible from what I've seen. And trust me, I would rather watch one episode of Johnny Test than one episode of a show like Level Up or something, because let's face it, Johnny Test used to be the Satan of all animation, where that title is taken by Teen Titans Go now, but in all honesty, I'd rather watch an episode of that because it ends faster. I'd rather watch one episode of that. In fact, I would even watch one episode of Teen Titans Go than one of the episodes of any of the live action shows, actually, not just Level Up, but any of them. And it's they had other really horrible shows like Destroy, Build, Destroy and all that stuff, and dude, what happened? It's I honestly remember that, it was such a horrible period, honestly. Now, of course, everyone, in the future, there is a chance of, CN going into a period of, having, either mediocre or just bad shows. But let's face it, we gotta face the facts. I really don't think there's ever gonna be another period that's so bad, to be as bad as the Dark Ages, because, let's face it, like I said, I don't really want to repeat myself all that much, but I feel like I have to. Companies only exist to make money, and if companies do something, okay, if they do a project that makes them lose money, they'll obviously won't do that ever again, And those live action shows were a huge detriment. Even though cartoons like Steven Universe, Adventure Time, and Gumball are really high quality shows, they're just up there on the #1 spot and all that stuff, it honestly is a little bit harder to make live action shows and cartoons because you actually have to like either rent out areas or like build whole studios and all that stuff. So yeah, it was really a huge loss for CN, and I really doubt they're ever gonna try to take that risk ever again. So yeah, that's about it. That's my short video about why CN is not gonna be heading into another Dark Age. Like I said, there may be a period of bad cartoon future, okay? But unfortunately, that's pretty much the chance with any channel, you know, like either cartoons, live action, or otherwise, or whatever. We'll just have to roll with the punches. But you know, even though corporations are, you know, like blinded by greed and all that stuff, I still think that they can see the mistakes that they've made. Honestly, remember what I said. You know, like the live action shows cost them to lose so much money. They would never even want to do that ever again. They wouldn't even consider it, and would probably fire anyone who would even recommend something like that. Anyway, everyone, thank you all so much for watching. As always, be sure to subscribe and press the bell icon. And as always, I am Demon Cringe, and I'll be seeing you guys and gals in the next video.